Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are live today for some coffee and conversation. Hope y'all brought your coffee and you can join us. Bring your questions. If you have any questions today about organ, eye, or tissue donation, please drop them in the comments below and we'll get those answered. So to get started, let's just kind of talk about who we are and the connection with Donor Alliance and this month. So my name is Raya O'Neill, and I'm the Wyoming Community Relations Coordinator for Donor Alliance. And I have Brianna and Gary with me today. And go ahead, guys, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brianna. As Raya mentioned, I'm the communications coordinator up to your, actually down to your south. I keep saying up to your north, thinking that I'm introducing everyone in Wyoming, but I'm down in Colorado, manning the station here at Donor Alliance.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lockrey. I'm the regional donation consultant for Donor Alliance here in Casper, and I work alongside with Raya.
So, great. Welcome. So thank you, guys. What we're getting to talk about today is it's April. It's National Donate Life Month. And hopefully you all have been kind of following our Facebook social media feed. And you saw that Governor Gordon actually signed a proclamation for Wyoming proclaiming National Donate Life Month observance in the state of Wyoming. We're very excited about that. Thank you, Governor Gordon. Very appreciative for that good news during these times. So Donate Life Month is where we honor and celebrate and recognize all those that gave the gift of life, who are waiting for the gift of life, and those heroes that have said yes to joining the registry. We have some special things going on right now as far as showing your heart for organ, eye, and tissue donation. And Bree, would you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Sure. It's fun this month, really, and we want to get everybody involved just by sharing an act of kindness on their Facebook page. So you can show your heart by performing an act of kindness. And that act of kindness can be as simple as signing up to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Maybe you're grabbing some groceries for your neighbor that can't get out of the house, or checking in on somebody that lives alone. Once you do something kind, we want you to share that to your own Facebook page and tag us at Donate Life Wyoming, and make sure you use that hashtag Show Your Heart too. The one thing you'll need to do is make that post public. So no need to make your whole profile public, just that one post so Donate Life Wyoming can see it, and we can give you a code for a free coffee. So a lot of fun, and you can do it right from home, safe and healthy.
We've had some really great acts of kindness already this month. We've had people making masks. We've even had people leaving anonymous envelopes of cash to help others purchase groceries. So some really great acts this month. And please, guys, participate and keep those going, all in honor of the ultimate act of kindness, organ, eye, and tissue donation. So it looks like we've got a couple people joining us. Thanks, guys, for joining in today. And we have our first question. This comes from Mandy, and Mandy is asking how she can get connected with us and volunteer with Donor Alliance in Wyoming. Bree, do you want to talk about our volunteer program?
Sure. Our volunteer program is really great. And all the volunteers that may be watching now, I do want to say hi to everybody. You guys really are the backbone of what we do. You may see them out and about at some of the events that we have throughout the state in both Wyoming and Colorado. They're really there to share their story and their connection about organ, eye, and tissue donation. A simple way you can get involved is simply by heading to our website at donoralliance.org/volunteer. You can look up some of the events that we have going on in the future, some of the trainings that we may have that you can get involved in, and that's how you get started. So we have about 150 to 200 or so active volunteers spread out throughout the state of Wyoming and down through Colorado as well.
And as Bree mentioned, the website, for those of you, it's traveling along the bottom of the screen in our ticker. So if you need it, just jot that down and check it out. The Advocates for Life program is a great way to give back, especially if you have a connection. But even we have a whole handful of advocates that are just really passionate about the cause, and they help us out. They're the heart and soul of what we do every day. So it looks like I see another comment coming in. Gary, I'm going to let you answer this one if you'd like. There's a question come in from Mary Ann. Mary Ann wants to know if there's any cost to the donor family when they have a loved one that passes.
Hi, Mary Ann. There is no cost for donation, neither for organ, eye, or tissue donation. Those costs are picked up by the recovery agencies. So that's one thing we can assure all of our donor families. Now, donor families and and all families, we're still responsible for medical costs incurred prior to our death and funeral arrangements. But for the act of donation, there are no charges or costs. We actually have many in our accounting department to review charts just to ensure that fact.
That's awesome. Thank you, Gary. And I know we probably have a lot of donor family members watching us today and listening to those questions. And so thank you guys for that gift and of life and for honoring your loved one's decision to be a donor. We really appreciate that. So we have a couple of questions that came into us prior to going live today, and I'm going to address one of those right now if we could. One of those questions we got, which is really relative to this month and the time of year we're in, we had a question about what does it mean when we see the flag flying, the Donate Life flag at the hospital. And Gary is really the one that works on site in Wyoming at those hospitals. So I'm going to let him go ahead and answer that one as well.
Well, that's a great question. Lots of hospitals around our state and across the country actually honor organ, eye, and tissue donors. And one way they can do that, and our hospital partners or clinical partners can do that, is by flying the Donate Life flag. Here in Wyoming, several hospitals do that. I know here in Casper, Wyoming Medical Center is. And it's just a way to pay tribute to our donors and their families during this month. Granted, we all know that organ, eye, and tissue donation happens every month. And in those circumstances, outside of April, if you were to see a flag flying, it's that hospital's way of honoring the fact that donation is ongoing in the hospital, in a way of honoring the donor and the family during that time.
Absolutely. And it's really a great way to show that honor and that respect for that person that made that decision to give the gift of life. Do you see any other questions that I'm missing there, Bree, or do we cover?
Yes. So we have a few that came in. One says, will there be another Donate Life Wyoming scavenger hunt again this year? Last year was the first one, and it went off without a hitch. So we're wondering if we're going to have another one this year, especially in the climate that we're in now.
Absolutely. The events calendar and the things that we do in the community obviously are kind of evolving every day. Right now, we are proceeding as if the event will be, and mark your calendars, guys, August 15th. Right now, we have it scheduled for that date, again, in Casper, Wyoming. We'd love to have all of you join us. Of course, as things change or things evolve, we'll definitely keep you updated. You can always check the status of the event by going to the donoralliance.org/DLWY scavenger hunt. Donate Life Wyoming scavenger hunt. And we'll keep that updated. And of course, those of you that joined us last year, we had such a ball. We will email you with any updates as things evolve. It's kind of a day-to-day right now, and we appreciate you guys' patience with that. But we're excited. We're ready to get outside and enjoy some good weather and be together once again.
Yeah, it's really a fun event. It was last year. Gary, I know you came and you brought your family too, and I think they had fun. Am I right?
They did. They had a lot of fun. The vendors, awesome. the downtown area, they had a great time. Everybody did.
Oh yeah, getting everyone involved like that for such a great cause is really a fun event. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that we can hold it again, at least over the next few months this year. We did get another question, and Raya, do you want me to read that one here? It says, let's see, from Anne, if someone has an illness, can they still be a donor?
Great question. We get that question a lot, especially when you guys are out at our community events and you see our volunteers at our tables. That's a great opportunity, not just in a Facebook Live session, but at those community events to ask those questions as well. So Anne, in answer to your question, if you have an illness, you absolutely can still register to be a donor. We encourage everyone not to rule themselves out. Things change and science evolves. And by the time you pass 30, 40, 50 years from now, there might be a cure to whatever your illness is. We have people, for example, with diabetes, pretty common disease that we face here in Wyoming. They can still register and they can be a donor. So don't rule yourself out. Check yes when you get your driver's license and say yes to donation. Great. Speaking of illness, though, current climate. Let's talk about COVID-19. And we're going to be joined here in a moment by our PR director, Andrea Smith. And she's going to, I know everyone has questions about what's going on in the donation and transplantation world in the COVID-19 climate. So I'm going to bring in Andrea. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. We've had someone with a question about if you have an illness, can you still be a donor? And I addressed kind of the general illness that they can still register, but I know in the back of everyone's mind, they're wondering how COVID-19 is affecting donation and transplantation. And I wonder if you could speak to that for us a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, I'll do my best, as you alluded to earlier. On the clinical side, just like on the event side, it really is impacting it and changing every day. And I was just talking with our director of organ operations yesterday, Jay Rudeboris, and Jay was explaining to me, some of the things we're doing to plan ahead to mitigate any impact that donation or that COVID may have on donation and transplantation. And as you can imagine, the wait list can't wait. There are almost 150 people in Wyoming currently waiting for a life-saving transplant. So it's important that we continue to do everything that we can to maximize organ and tissue donation and transplantation. So, donation and transplantation continues to happen. I've been asked oftentimes, does COVID rule someone out from being eligible to be a donor? And I know, Gary, you can probably answer this as well, but currently active, or what they call acute in your world, right, Gary? COVID would be a rule out for organ donation. However, as you alluded to earlier, Raya, lots of times, diseases, medical science advances. So 5 years ago, hepatitis C was a rule out for organ donation, but it's not anymore. People with hepatitis can donate and save the life of someone else with hepatitis. So please don't rule yourself out, even if someone has active COVID. Now, also, people who have recovered from COVID, that's not an automatic rule out for organ donation. So if someone has gotten better years down the line, it's just like the flu or another viral disease. That is not necessarily a rule out for organ donation, and they could potentially be an organ donor. So again, like Raya said, don't rule yourself out. If you support donation, if you want to help somebody else and save a life, check yes at Driver Services, and then discuss donation with your family and sign up to be a donor.
I think it's important too, the ticker below, as Raya, I know you're about to mention here, you can find those resources and more information all up to date on coronavirus as it relates to organ and tissue donation at donoralliance.org/COVID. That's updated pretty regularly. So if you have any other questions related to that, check out that page.
Absolutely. And thank you. She read my mind. I was going to jump on that at the bottom. I did see another question come in, and it's a pretty important one for us here in Wyoming. Laura is asking, will you be rescheduling the Wyoming Donor Dash? Thank you, Laura, for bringing that up. That's an event that's near and dear to our heart. So it was scheduled for April 25th. And unfortunately, due to the current situation, we chose to postpone that event. And I say postpone because the donor resource team that puts that event on, we are definitely talking and brainstorming ideas on whether we are rescheduling and bringing it to you in a different format, whether it be a virtual run. We're not sure exactly yet, but we're working on it, Laura, and we haven't forgot it. It's a good event. We love it. It's a great way to bring families together that have been touched by donation and just celebrate life together in Wyoming and in Casper, where the event takes place. So we are definitely working with the donor resource team at Wyoming Medical Center to try to continue that event and either reschedule for later in the year, and we'll let you know. So follow us on Facebook, follow us at Donate Life Wyoming. Make sure you're following so you get those updates, and as things change and are updated and it's rescheduled, we'll let you know.
We did get another question in here, Raya. Is there a cost to the donor family? That's from Marianne.
And there is not, Marianne. Thank you so much for asking that. There's no cost to the donor family for donation. Gary, do you want to expand on that one again?
I guess I'm not quite sure. Is it cost for the donor dash or is it cost for donation? Well, I can say that there is no cost for either. Donor families are provided free registration for the donor dash. And again, if you missed the question earlier, there is no cost to donate. that is one of the greatest concerns is, will my family be charged for this donation? The other concern is, can we still have an open casket viewing? Those are two of the biggest. And indeed you can, and we take all that into consideration as we provide for the recovery process. But yeah, there is no charge, no cost for donation. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's a good thing to point out, Gary. We have a lot of people in Wyoming that are really, it's important to have that traditional burial and that traditional ceremony with their family when they've lost a loved one. And all of that is possible with donations. So thank you for bringing that up. Looks like I see another question. I'm looking down here and I see a question from Ashley. Ashley's asking us what's the difference between the national registry and the individual state registries. And Andrea, I'm going to let you take this one.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Raya. The short answer, Ashley, is nothing. When you sign up on either the state donor registry through driver services or online at donatelifewyoming.org or online at Donate Life America or registerme.org, which is the name of the donor registry that Donate Life America runs. It all comes into a centralized donor registry database in Wyoming that is the Donate Life Wyoming organ, eye, and tissue donor registry. So we've coordinated that with Donate Life America. There's a really long historical explanation. Registries are state-based by statute. But as time went on, we've begun to see advantages of offering one place. People can go to register no matter where they live around the country. So Donate Life America is really pioneering that, but they're all connected. So the most important thing for people to know is that your most recent decision is valid. So you can add or remove yourself from the donor registry at donatelifewyoming.org anytime. But it's going to be your most recent decision that's valid. So you want to make sure if you go to registerme.org and sign up, that you also check yes. If you go to driver services 6 months later to renew your driver's license, you want to also check yes there.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for bringing that up. We do a lot of the people that say yes in Wyoming, about 99% of us say yes by checking yes at driver services when we get a driver's license or we renew the one that we had or a state ID. So it's really important to make sure that Wyomingites know we're going to honor your most recent decision. So make sure you check yes at driver services. And thank you. Shout out to driver services today. Thank you guys for all your hard work. You're still working, you're social distancing. We got some great blue and green day pictures from a couple offices today, social distancing. So thank you guys so much. And hopefully a few of you are joining us right now.
I see another question here, Raya. It says, where can I register to be a donor and have a heart on my license? I think now more than ever, people are wondering, well, how can I register safely?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so even though in Wyoming, a little different than our neighbors in Colorado, our two-state region, Colorado driver's license offices, for example, are closed right now. But in Wyoming, those offices, driver services are still open. And they've been taking the measures necessary to do that social distancing. And they've limited the number of occupants that can come, be in the lobby area or in the space at one time. And so they're doing all the measures, taking all the precautions that have been recommended by the governor and the State Department of Health, and to ensuring everybody's safety. So if you absolutely don't have to go in, then don't go in. But you can always register online. Register to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You can go to donatelifewyoming.org. It's a big orange button that says become a donor. Just click on that and you can register at any time. And you can renew that decision or make that decision for the first time.
I recently renewed via mail, and on the forms they sent in, there was a donation check mark, registry check mark, so you can still go that way as well.
Yep, definitely have some options there to limit your trips out if that's what you're concerned about.
Great. We got another comment in, Raya, too, that says, this is from Camille. She simply said, have the talk with your family and make that decision. So really, how important, we touched on this a little bit, is it to have that talk with your family and share your decision with your family? How important is that?
That's really important. I'll just take you guys back a little bit. Seems like a long time ago, to February, where we celebrated Valentine's Day. Well, Valentine's Day is also National Donor Day. And that's a day where we at Donor Alliance really try to impress upon you the importance of sharing the love with your family by letting them know what your decision is. If your decision is to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor, it makes it so much easier on them if there is a tragic moment and you pass, they know what your decision is. They feel comfort in knowing that they are fulfilling your decision and doing what you wanted when you passed. And I know Gary works a lot with our families, a lot with our donor families. And is there anything you want to speak to with that, Gary?
I can just add that, joining the registry does make it easier on family. It is our last advance directive for healthcare that we can make, and it lets everybody know what we want to do. So in that respect, our wishes are honored. They can't be countermanded or revoked after we pass. So it is a valid legal gift that we're giving to others.
Absolutely. And it definitely is a gift, that gift of life. We have a question that came in earlier from one of our advocates before our session today. And I wanted to cover that one. And they said, what kind of impact do you have? How many people do you touch or affect when you say yes and give the gift of life? Can you speak to that, Brianna?
Sure, that's a great question. And really, the answer is amazing. So one person can save up to 8 lives through organ donation, or save and heal more than 75 lives through tissue donation. So one person has that huge of an impact. And giving the gift of life is really the best gift you can give, right? It's the ultimate act of kindness. It's something that is simple as saying yes to organ, eye, and tissue donation on the registry. You can do that if you're able once you pass. So again, up to 8 lives through organ donation, and save and heal more than 75 lives through tissue donation.
Which is amazing. Just amazing to affect that many people by saying yes. Speaking of acts of kindness, Brianna mentioned that. Again, our initiative this month and what we really want to celebrate with you guys is to show your heart with an act of kindness. And I've seen a lot of acts of kindness already out there, just circling through social media, from, of course, making those masks to, I know here in Casper, I hear at 8 o'clock, I hear some howling and some cheering and pots banging together, and just all in celebration of each other and supporting each other and those people that are working right now outside of their home to keep us going and our economy running. And so those are all acts of kindness. Those are great ways to uplift each other. And so just if you would remind them, Brianna, what they can do with that act of kindness.
Sure. And like you said, there are probably so many different acts of kindness going on out there right now. If you just share it on Facebook, what we want you to do is perform an act of kindness, share your heart, show your heart, use that hashtag, show your heart, tag at Donate Life Wyoming, and share it on your Facebook page. Let everyone know what you're doing, because hopefully that'll inspire others to do the same, or inspire them to share what they've already done as a small or big act of kindness, either or. Once you do that, we will be able to see it only if you make that post public. No need to make your whole profile public, just that one post. We'll comment and we'll give you a code for a free gift card to Starbucks, a $5 card to Starbucks. So that's just us saying thank you for being kind. We know that now more than ever, Raya, kindness is something that we just want to spread throughout our communities.
Absolutely. And it's a great way to observe that decision that was made by those donors, that ultimate act of kindness, to observe that in honor of organ, eye, and tissue donation. So please, guys, we encourage you to participate. I bet every one of you have done an act of kindness maybe and not even realized it at this point. So thank you so much. And we hope you share those with us on our Facebook page. Let's just take a look and make sure we're not missing anybody's questions. If we do miss your question or we haven't answered it here today as we start to wrap up, don't worry. Go ahead. This this feed will be on our Facebook page, and you can make those questions in the comments even after the live feed is gone. And we'll get in there and make sure that we answer any of those questions that you've had. You can also message our Facebook page at any time if you have questions, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered or point you in the right direction to get those answers. Looks like I'm not seeing any more.
There's one more that we got actually, Raya, right before this from one of our advocates. They want to know, they heard that there's another observance later in the month, and it's Donor Remembrance Day. Can we just give an overview of who that celebrates and honors?
Absolutely. So Donor Remembrance Day is something that's, we've been honoring our donors for a while, but it's virtual this year, as many things are. And so that virtual celebration is brought to us by AOPO, the Association of Organ Procurement Organizations, long name, and they have created a virtual garden where you can go in and plant a forget-me-not flower in honor of your donor. It's a great way and option for all of us to participate, and that happens at the end of the month. And so it's new to us, and we're just going to really celebrate it this year and really bring about that honoring and remembrance on April 30th of all of those donors from Wyoming that have given the life to other people through the gift of life.
Great.
Awesome.
Looks like I don't see any more. Help me, guys, if I've missed one out there. But again, please put them in the comments and don't be afraid to do it even after the live session has ended. And we'll make sure that we get in there. Was there anything else, Gary, Brianna, or Andrea, that you wanted to touch on here today before we wrap up?
No.
I don't think so. We covered the main events. I think the one thing too is it's not too late to get involved for National Donate Life Month. We're only halfway through the month. So again, go out and show your heart, share an act of kindness on your Facebook page, do something kind for somebody, and we'll give you that coffee as a thank you in return.
Yeah, and organ, eye, and tissue donation is truly the ultimate act of kindness. So I just like to say thank you out there to the 63% of Wyomingites that are signed up as organ, eye, and tissue donors, which makes Wyoming in the top 3 in the country, by the way, which is amazing. And yeah, it's amazing. And all of the donor families as well who have, supported their loved one's gift of life. And I know, Gary, you work with those families closely, but it truly, your loved one lives on, and other lives are out there being lived because of the generosity of you, your loved one, your family. So thank you so much. And thanks to everybody. Thank you, Gary, Brianna, Raya. It's so important that people make a decision based on the facts. So thank you for helping get the facts out there around organ, eye, and tissue donation, and happy Blue and Green Day.
Yes, happy Blue and Green Day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and let us know if you have any more questions, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.